Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it is another one here. We are here with the Authority Project. I'm Brian Arnold here, and I have my new good friend, Katie Brinkley, and she is here. She says to help us get through the biggest mistakes entrepreneurs make with social media. Is that right, Katie?
That is right. I can't wait for this.
Awesome, awesome. Well, we shall see. We shall see what she can do for us today on this amazing episode of the Authority Project.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, feast your eyes and tune your ears. It's that time again. We are live with another episode of The Authority Project. It's the video podcast streamed on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Periscope, where we talk to digital marketers, business coaches, and creators of all kinds on how they've built authority in their field and how you can mimic their success. Developing authority, building your audience, and attracting better clients to your own business. Now, without further ado, let's bring to the virtual stage your host, Brian S. Arnold.
All right, we are back with another one, folks. It is Brian S. Arnold here. This is the Authority Project. You are the project. We want to slap authority to your name so you can sell more of what you're great at. And I am honored to have Katie Brinkley on the virtual stage today. How you doing, my friend?
I am doing awesome. So excited to be here with you.
Awesome. I am glad to have you here because we have a great topic to discuss. But before we dive in strong with that, first of all, tell the people who you are personally and then professionally.
Yeah, so my name is Katie Brinkley. I am a social media strategist, and I've been helping businesses, entrepreneurs, real estate agents with their social media for 17 years. Yes, I started back in the days of MySpace. I started by helping bands get their music off of MySpace and onto the radio airways. And I never really looked back. I mean, I landed my dream job right out of college. I was a radio reporter, post-game reporter for the Broncos, Rockies, Avalanche here in Denver. That was my dream job. And I never really thought that I would be doing social media for my career because back, like I said, 17 years ago, nobody had any idea the way that social media would completely transform all of our lives. So it started in radio, it's doing social media on the side, and now it is my full-time job. I have my own social media agency right here in Colorado, helping businesses with their social media strategy and online presence.
Awesome. So you're a Broncos fan, huh?
I'm a big Broncos fan.
I'm a Pats fan, so you know. Yeah. Okay.
So before we completely derail this conversation, I do just have to say, how on earth could the absolute ideal quarterback just land in Bill Belichick's hands in the draft? He didn't have to trade up to get him. The exact quarterback he wanted landed in his lap. I mean, like Tom Brady 2.0. I can't believe it.
I was so excited. Yes. We'll talk about that later. So let's move on before we go crazy with that. But what is your current project that you're working on at the moment?
Yeah, so I right now am helping a lot of entrepreneurs get used to the latest bit of social media out there, Clubhouse, social audio. It really is taking the world by storm. If you have not, there's a lot of social audio apps out there. Clubhouse is right now just kind of the hottest app, but there's Twitter Spaces, there's Racket, there is Fireside. Facebook is launching their own social audio app. It just launched in Taiwan last week. So, I mean, if you are still on the fence about social audio and not really sure if your business or you need to be on it or be a part of it, I'm telling you yes. And so that is what I am doing right now is I'm helping a lot of entrepreneurs develop a strategy around their social audio, specifically Clubhouse online presence.
Nice. Okay. I think that's where we met, I think.
It is.
Right? Yeah. So great stuff. So hey, that's where connections start there. So there you go.
Faster than ever too. Right. I mean, the second that you can hear someone speak and have a conversation with them, I swear these connections are happening at lightning speed, and I love it.
Yeah, absolutely. So there you go. That's one of the things you should be looking out for. So before we go into it deeply here, last question: what is your daily routine, Katie?
My daily routine, like I said, I never thought I was going to be an entrepreneur, but here I am. And I have two little girls. So I have a 3-year-old and a 6-year-old, and we've been so fortunate. My 6-year-old has been able to go to school in person throughout the whole last year. So we've been very fortunate with that. And my routine is to wake up around 5:30 in the morning. And then I get the girls up around 6:30. We get them off to school and do school drop off, come on in here to the office and start with 2, 3, sometimes 4 cups of coffee, and just keep on powering through. And I have a lot of coaching. I do group coaching and then one-on-one strategy sessions with people for their Clubhouse and just overall social media strategy. So that takes up a lot of my day. And then I also have 2 podcasts of my own. So spend a lot of time talking.
Yes, I see. So in your blood for sure. In your blood for sure. So let's get right to the topic now then. So tell us about these 3 mistakes that we should avoid in our social media marketing.
Yeah, so I think that one of the biggest mistakes that I see a lot of entrepreneurs making is that they try to be on every single social media channel known to mankind. And I mean, I just named off like 4 different social audio apps out there. And I mean, there's still the main players of Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn, Clubhouse. I mean, there's so many out there. And I think that that's one of the biggest mistakes I see is entrepreneurs, small businesses trying to be on all of them. And they end up speaking just to everybody and not speaking to their ideal client, their ideal customer. And if you're pushing the same content out to everybody on every single platform, what's the incentive for them to follow you? So if you push out the same content on Facebook that you do on Instagram, there's no incentive for someone to follow you on both platforms. So changing up just how you have your posts going out, you can still be talking to the same piece of core content. So if you are still promoting a blog or a podcast, you can still be promoting that same piece of content, but just changing it up so for each of those ideal client and customers on those platforms. I think that's one of the biggest mistakes that I see a lot of businesses making is just posting it everywhere without a strategy really, and just hoping that it's going to stick with their ideal client. And if you're going to do social media the right way, you have to show up in all these different avenues and craft your messages for each channel. So that's one of the biggest mistakes that I see. And I think that once you're able to take a step back and really think about, okay, well, is my audience on Twitter? I mean, maybe I'm just wasting my time by sending out these tweets. Is my audience on Instagram? Should I be going live on Instagram? Should I be doing TikTok? I mean, think about who your ideal client and customer is and really crafting the posts that they want to see and engage with. And that'll help you get more likes, get more follows, and get more business.
I agree with all of that. You answered like my little basic questions I was going to put in there, but you did it right there. So,
sorry.
Yeah, no worries. That's fine. Because I think a lot of people don't understand that yet. Like when you're on a particular platform, like, is your audience there? Are they engaging with you? Maybe they're not there. Sometimes you have to learn that, like, okay, why isn't anybody responding to me? Because maybe the people that you're trying to target aren't there. Is that right? Or I've seen that with certain platforms that I'm getting response here but nothing here, and to be okay with that.
Exactly. And I think that you really have to show up consistently for your audience. You can't just be speaking at them every single time that you show up with a post. You can't just show up and be trying to sell to them on every single post. No one really wants it. It's called social media for a reason. And so if you're just talking at somebody every time and pushing out the same content on every single platform, what's the incentive in that for them to actually write back or comment on your post? Because you're not actually like engaging with them. It's just you're just checking the box essentially of, okay, I posted to Facebook, I posted to social for the day.
Yeah. Oh wow. Okay, I got a whole lot of stuff here. So that was number 1. Was there a 2 and a 3? Let's go with the 2 and 3.
Yeah. So mistake number 2, is really just the lack of the strategy and the consistency. So I like to think of it as a lot of businesses will just push out a whole bunch of random posts, most of the time about a sale or a product that they offer, but then they don't stick around and actually answer the people that comment or ask a question on the post. So if someone has created a question or answered your question that you posed in your post and you don't respond to them, they're going to see that and be like, well, why should I even bother responding to anything that this person does, that this business does, because no one ever answers me anyways. So you have to stick around and be social on the platform. Answer the people that are commenting on your posts. And most importantly, comment on other people's posts. It is 100% a two-way street here. Again, I feel like I'm going to say this throughout the entire show, but it's called social media for a reason. And you have to be social on it. You have to comment, you have to like, you have to engage with other people's posts. And that's how your true authentic relationships are going to be formed and made. You're going to start conversations with people from all over the world, and you're going to have a lot more opportunities come to you that way when you are being social on the platform. So that's mistake number 2, not really having a strategy, not being consistent, and not being a part of the conversation. So I think that's one of the, like I said, one of the biggest, or the second biggest mistake that I see. I feel like I'm talking a lot, but if
okay. Go ahead and do 3, and I got a few more questions on top of that. We'll do it like that.
Well, and so I think that number 3 is kind of a continuation of that, of being social on the platform and answering people, and not just being salesy. Nobody wants to just engage with a sales post. So how can you not be salesy? Well, think of it in real life. If you went to a networking event and walked up to everybody there and just threw your business cards at everyone and turned around and walked out the door, that's basically what a lot of people are doing with their social media posts. Just here I am, buy from me, and then taken off. So you have to stick around and like I said, engage in the conversation, not just be talking about you and what's in it for you. One spot that's great for conversation starters is in Facebook groups. Go to Facebook or even Clubhouse. Go to these places and listen to the conversations that people are having. Listen to the struggles that they have. And then that can be an entire month's worth of posts that you can craft content around. So if people are saying, one of the biggest struggles that I have is for me would be on Instagram Reels. And I could do an entire month's worth of content all about how to craft different reels, how to format the reels, how to find trending audio. And that's all stuff I learned just by being in a Facebook group or in a Clubhouse room. So listen to what your ideal client and customers' struggles are, and show up with the answer to their questions, because then that way you are going to be seen as somebody that can help them, and you're going to be top of mind, and they will want to do business with you.
Great stuff. Okay, so here's my next question then. What is there a pattern for your content? Because we all have these schedulers here. I know a lot of us get caught up in these schedulers when we start, like I said, just posting quotes or whatever, stuff that just you're hoping for the best. So is there a pattern that you go with that goes to this cycle of posts to make it more sensical for the people who are actually doing content that way?
Yeah, so I think that Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, they will tell you when your audience is online. And so when you're set up, I'm just going to go off of Instagram. So when you're set up as a business account or a creator account on Instagram, you get insights. And with these insights, it's great because then you can see. So for me, it's really interesting. But on LinkedIn, the majority of my audience is predominantly male. And so I have to but on Instagram, my audience is it's like 73% female on Instagram. So I've got a big switch of how my audience sees me on these two different platforms. So on Instagram, I know I can kind of go heavy with the pink. Pink is one of my brand colors. If I go a little bit too pink on LinkedIn with my posts, I'm probably going to turn people off. So look at your insights and see who your audience is, so you can craft your posts specifically for audience on each platform. But two, look and see when they are online the most. Instagram will tell you like, hey, so for me, I know Saturdays are not a good day for my audience. They're out doing stuff. And so I don't post on Saturdays ever. But I know that my very first post of the week on Mondays needs to go out between 9 and noon, because that's when my audience is online, ready to start engaging. So if I can get those 20, 30, 40 likes right after I do a post, I know that it'll have enough momentum to carry that post through the rest of the day, when my audience will then slowly continue getting online. So if I were to post it at 7 p.m., I would kind of just be, throwing spaghetti at the wall, hoping that something's going to stick. But if I post it earlier in the day, that's going to help me. So look at your insights and try and craft those posts and schedule them so when your audience is online the most. I'm not saying you have to post every single day. That I don't think is a realistic strategy to be successful on social media. I think that you can be successful with just 3 to 4 posts a week if they are exactly what your audience wants. So again, listen to what your audience is telling you that they need more of, and show up with those posts. And I promise you will see growth. You will see engagement increases, and you will see more sales come from it.
Yeah, that's different, because I hear quite the opposite, where you need to be posting 3 to 4 times a day.
No.
At least you said no. No.
And I mean, so there's a very prominent social media person out there, and they have an entire team of content creators that can take one podcast and repurpose it 8 different times throughout the day, 7 days a week, just for that one piece of content. I don't know about you, but I don't have an entire team of content creators. I have me, and that's what I feel like the majority of entrepreneurs, small business owners have, is themselves, maybe a virtual assistant or an assistant that can help them with it. Sure. But there's so many other aspects of our business that we need to pay attention to. You can't just be spending all day on social media. And so, and that's right. What's going to have to happen if you're going to be pushing out 2-3 posts a day. Yeah. So show up with a post that is going to exactly answer what your audience wants and want to engage with. And that one post will carry you until the next optimal posting time for your audience. You can be successful just posting 3 to 4 times a week. And if you have the capacity to start adding more content in, then go for it. But start small and really gain an understanding of what your audience wants first.
Great. Now, what type of content then from here do we put out to get people engaged? Do we, like you said, the reels, we have lives, we have just regular photos. If we're talking about Instagram, the photo, pictures kind of thing. Is there a combination? Do we do a little bit of everything? How do you put this all into play?
Yeah, so I think that what I like to do is show up in all the different neighborhoods of Instagram. So we're just going to stick with Instagram for now. So let's say with this video, this podcast, what first thing that we would do is we would take a 63-second clip maybe, or you can turn that into an IGTV. It just has to be over 60 seconds. One of the things that I do for my podcast is I will turn it into a carousel post. So I will have one post saying what the podcast is about. The next post will be an audiogram. So it's just still a stagnant picture with like a wavelength. It's really a video, but they're able to listen to a 59-second clip of the podcast as kind of that intro, that teaser, that they can then hear more of the podcast. And then the last post is typically some sort of cover art with either me or with one of my guests on it. So the carousel post is great because every time someone engages with it and swipes through, Instagram's seeing that. And they're like, oh, people like this post. They're having fun engaging with it and swiping on it. And then by having that video in there too, and people sitting there listening to it or reading the closed captions on it as that audio clip plays, that's more time that someone is spending on that one clip. And so again, their Instagram algorithm says, wow, not only are they swiping and engaging with this post, they're sitting on it and reading it and listening to it. They really like this post. I'm going to push this out to more people. So
Yeah.
carousel posts are huge. Showing up on IGTV. So again, taking a 61 to maybe like a 3-minute clip of the podcast or video and sharing it. And then you also have Instagram stories. So whenever I post a podcast, I will go into Instagram stories and say, hey, the latest episode of da, 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 dropped. And this week I'm speaking with so-and-so. We talk all about X, Y, Z. And it's just me showing up for 30 seconds, again, basically giving a teaser to the podcast. And then I will share that carousel post that I just did in the feed to stories. So that way I'm hitting all these different avenues on this one social media platform, because not everybody consumes content the same way.
Yeah.
Some people listen, some people like to watch, some people just like to read. So that way, if you're showing up all the different ways that people can consume the content, it's going to help your reach with the Instagram algorithm.
Great. I have so many questions. This is the the hard part. Because you have so many questions. So I'm gonna give you this question here. Should you be concerned about your social look, like your brand colors and so forth? You can quickly answer that, yes or no, whatever.
Yes.
Yes.
You should.
Okay. Why? Okay,
Well,
go ahead. Why? Go ahead. Tell us.
Okay, so you should be, because the second that you show up in the feed, people should instantly know that this is you.
Okay.
And so I'm not saying that you need to have like one of those like patterned Instagram feeds by any means, but your feed should have an overall look and feel to it. It should, the second someone lands on it, it should be kind of your mini website. And if you have a website that's kind of all jumbled and different colors and all over the place, it's going to confuse people. Whereas if you can kind of bring everything back to that same cohesive look and feel, people are going to know exactly who you are the second that you show up in their feed.
Awesome. Awesome. Great stuff. Followers or engagement? Go.
Engagement. Hands down engagement. Followers, they're not necessary. I'd rather have 500 followers that engage with every single one of my posts and they comment on them and they buy from me and they tell their friends about me than 500,000 people that never do anything. And then I'm really just kind of talking to crickets. I'd rather have 500 tight community members.
Okay. I got 2 more questions here. So this here, you can expound as much as you want. The bio. What should be in your bio for your social channels, and how should that work with all of them in unison, or should it be different in different channels? You can go ahead
So
with that.
very quickly, and I mean the bio is different for each of your social channels. I mean, especially too between like Clubhouse and Instagram. Like Instagram, you only get 180 characters for your entire bio, where Clubhouse you can write a whole book. But regardless of what platform that you are on, you need to tell people what you do, who you serve, and how long you've been doing it. Why are you an authority? So tell people instantly why you're an authority, who you can serve, and how long you've been doing it.
Great stuff. So let's summarize everything. Let's go back over what the 3 mistakes are, and then we'll have one last question to wrap it up.
Yeah, so not being on too many channels, not being social on social media, and I'm blanking on the other one, not having a consistent strategy of your posting on social media. Yeah. 3 biggest mistakes right there.
Great stuff. And I'm sure there are many more mistakes that you're probably doing as well outside of that, but great stuff. I have one last question. This has been fantastic. Just really fantastic. And it goes something like this. There are people here that are watching now, they'll be listening later, and they have similar goals. They want to help other people with their social media, just like you. They have, they want to be the next Katie Brinkley. So can you tell them in your own words, and I'll put you front and center, how they can become an authority in this space?
Believing in yourself and never thinking that you know it all, because things change way too fast. And the second that you think that you know everything, that's when you're going to fall behind. I'm consistently learning, reading books, and just trying to continue to grow. And I do think that is 100% the best way to become an authority in your industry, is to never stop learning.
Fantastic. I totally agree with that. Totally agree with that. People, make sure you get a hold of this person here. Please tell them where they can go after the show to find you.
Yeah, you can find me at katiebrinkley.com. I'm on Clubhouse at Katie Brinkley. On Instagram, you can find me at I am Katie Brinkley. So pretty much if you go on any social channel and you search Katie Brinkley, I am sure to pop up.
There it is, folks. Everybody, please, I'm going to plug in my new Facebook group just for a second here. Go to thoughtleadersimpactgroup.com and be one of the founding members of that. Well, I'm changing the game, people. I'm changing the game here a little bit here. It's going to be different. I know a lot of people say that, but it's going to be different. All thoughts are welcome. If you have something to say, if you have a message, get in there. We're going to talk about getting impact, making more impact to build more income, and being one of those people who can really make a true change in the world. So that's me in a nutshell. Katie, any final words before we get out of here?
This has been such a pleasure, and I'm so glad that Clubhouse introduced us. And if anyone wants to continue expanding their network on Clubhouse, be sure to follow me over there. And yeah, I'm so thankful that we were able to connect, Brian. Thank you so much for having me.
Awesome. Honored. And as I always say, people, remember, build it, share it, and they will come. We'll see you next time. We're out.
And that's a wrap for this episode of The Authority Project. Thanks so much for tuning in. And if you like what you heard, we want to hear from you. Subscribe, rate, and give an honest review. Share and tell your friends so they can hear too. And for even more authority building tactics, be sure to sign up at theauthorityletter.com. Get free weekly content and ongoing digital product giveaways to help you on your entrepreneurial journey. We certainly hope you got a key takeaway or maybe an aha moment from today's broadcast. Just remember, it's your authority. Build it, share it, and they will come. Until next time.